What's up, 9 a.m.? How you all feeling? You feeling the love in church today? Anybody feeling the love? I feel the love. Butch, you feel the love?
Always.
Yeah, you do. I love it, Butch. Hey, if you're new with us, or maybe you're joining us online right now, we love it that you are spending Valentine's Day 2021 in church. I love it. I got all the feels today, all right? And man, I'm about to say something. And when I say what I'm about to say, I need all you to don't flinch. Don't look sideways, okay? Just stay cool. Can you do that for me? Okay, here you go, man. Some of you all forgot that it was Valentine's Day until you walked into church today. I saw some sweat beads like going down people's foreheads during the worship. I know you're feeling a little bit, which is why we have a little tradition around here, man, all right? Every Valentine's Day weekend, we put a whole stack of free Valentine's Day cards in the men's bathroom just for you. Woo! Look, who says church isn't helpful, you know? And these really are in the men's bathroom. They're in the men's bathroom now. This is also true. Every year when I've said this from the stage, that we have a stack of free cards in the men's bathroom, men have gotten up right then and gone straight to the bathroom in the middle of the service. Those are not smart men. You got to play it off. You got to at least wait till after the message, just go after the message. That's when you go. And if you do not know where the men's bathroom is, men, just look for the line of men after the service in the hallway. That's the men's bathroom. But anyway, these are in the bathroom. Go grab those. I'm psyched you guys are here for Valentine's Day. Online family, so psyched that you guys are with us. Can you guys just give it up for everybody watching online right now? You guys are the best. All right, so we're starting this new series today called Love Rules. And if you are married, great. This series is for you. Now, if you're dating, great. This series is for you. And if you are single, believe it or not, awesome. This series is for you. Now, single people, all right, can you just raise your hand if you're single? I don't want to embarrass you too much. Just give me your hands. Put them up. Be loud, proud. Hands up. Online family, put a hands up emoji. Hands up if you're single. Come on. All right, you all just look around. We're just here to help, all right? Just trying to let everybody know who's single in the room. Anyway, but no matter how married or single you are, Love Rules is for all of us. This series is going to be for all of us because, listen, love is not a stage of life. Love is a state of being. Come on, I'm preaching early today. Love is not a stage of life. Love is a state of being. And I think it's pretty great. And speaking of love, I found the very first picture Stacy and I ever had taken together this week. You guys want to see the very first picture? Look. From the Millsboro bowling alley, guys. This is where love begins, all right? So this is 18 years ago. I think this is our second date, and somehow my wife still looks exactly the same. How is that even possible? Now, listen, all right. You guys see this hair up here on me? You see this? This is what happens when you drink Mountain Dew, kids, all right? So listen, make better choices than me. But I'll never forget this night. Stacy smoked me at bowling. So bad that the guy who was working the counter made fun of me the whole night. I don't think I've bowled since with Stacy. She's so good at bowling. But anyway, that's our first picture ever together. I found a picture of our first Valentine's. And so we'll put this up on the screen. Look at this is young love, guys. And this is from 2003. And I asked Stacy to dress up. And I did the flower thing. I got candles. Okay, I made her spaghetti. This is romance, people. Men, take notes. I don't see any men taking notes. Look, no. You think this is romantic until you realize that this picture was taken in my parents' bonus room by my mother. That is true. Do not invite your mother to your Valentine's Day date. That's another note right there. Love rule number 1. Don't invite mom to Valentine's Day. But love was in the air in this picture. And speaking of love, men in the room, I'm going to pick on men because I'm a man, all right? I don't know how else to do this with ladies. Okay, so men, how many of you remember the very first time you told your wife, your girlfriend, whatever, like you told her, I love you? How many of you remember this? Husbands, you better just raise your hand, buddy. If you don't remember it, okay, you guys remember? That's a moment, right? I remember the very first time I told Stacy I loved her. It was in the Howard T. Ennis School parking lot, where all love really begins, okay? And so here's what happened. Stacy was a lifeguard at the pool at Howard T. Ennis, and I had just gotten done with one of my Del Tech classes, which is right there. And so I decided to pull my 1989 Honda Accord into the parking lot of the Howard T. Ennis School parking lot. Okay, I only have one pop-up light that worked on my Honda Accord. I pulled up there, and Stacy, she came outside to see me, and it was a wet evening. It was raining. It was not nice outside. We were standing in the glow of my single working headlight of my 1989 Honda Accord. The high beam was like blinding her, and I just felt the butterflies, guys. And I said, I love you. And then I thought, really, Joel? This is where you chose it, like Ryan Gosling in The Notebook, basically got in a hand-carved canoe, went out to a meadow, there's swans everywhere. That's where he professed his love. You're going to do it like right next to your 1989 Honda Accord with only one pop-up headlight working like in the parking lot at nighttime? Yes, I am. And I had the butterflies, you guys. The butterflies were going like this. And I had all the feels, and I said, I love you. And then, if you ever said something, you're like, oh, why'd I do that? That was bad. That was stupid. And I was like, oh, no. And then Stacy said, I love you too. And I'm like, woo! There it is. Miracles do happen. I'm having fun today. I'm just going to tell you a bunch of stories. But I told you all of that. Because, well, it's Valentine's Day. I'm just trying to get brownie points. Let's be honest. That's my point right here. But love gives us all the feels, right? The butterflies are flying. We kind of feel like we're floating. And sometimes we can start to be tempted to think that love is those butterflies. Isn't that true? That sometimes we can be tempted to think that love is those butterflies. We think that's what love is because that's how love starts. But I remember a few years had passed after I told Stacy I loved her. And so we still have butterflies, you guys, but they had a little hitch in their giddy up. You know what I'm saying? They had a little arthritic wing going on, all right? And Stacy, she said, hey, I'm going to make some General Tso's chicken. I'm going to make some General Tso's chicken. And the recipe called for white pepper. But Stacy, she just looks at the recipe as a suggestion. You guys, how many of you are a little creative in the kitchen? Let me see your hand. You're creative in the kitchen? Not going to your house for dinner, not going to your house for dinner. No, all right. So she replaced the white pepper with about a gallon of crushed red pepper. Why? I have no idea why. Because I took one bite. Listen, it was so hot. I wasn't sure who General Tso was, but I thought he was going to kill me. I think I started hallucinating. It was so hot. And Stacy looked at me and she said, I took my one bite. She said, do you love it? I was like, I love you. Let me just tell you, that I love you was not met with the same warm butterflies that the first I love you was met with, all right? I think murder hornets started coming at me from the other side of the table. And listen, eventually the butterflies get old, and their wings, and love changes over time. Which means, if you want, that relationship with your spouse, if you want that relationship with your kids or your family or your friends or your coworkers or your teenagers, if you want that to last for years and years and years, your definition of love has to go deeper than your feelings, right? And come on, married people, just give me a little pinky. Just give me a little pinky if there's some days when you are not feeling the love. Give me a little pinky. Come on, a little pinky. Some of you are like scared. It's Valentine's Day. I'm getting you in trouble. I'm sorry, Don, May. Anyway, every romantic relationship goes through times when you're not feeling it. Every friendship goes through times when you're not feeling it. Every Thanksgiving family dinner goes through moments when you're not feeling it. When somebody in your family says, I don't really like pretzel salad, you're like, how did you get into this family? There's moments when you don't feel it. And so I found some tweets this week that pretty much sum up relationship frustration, and I thought I'd show you a few of these that are talking about love. Spaced Mom says, marriage is just your spouse perpetually standing in front of the kitchen drawer or cabinet you need to open. Can I get an amen, somebody? This is every day in our house, okay? All right, here's another one. Couples have an amount they can spend up to without discussing with each other. Mine is around $50. My wife's is around $643.27. Apparently. Butch is amening. You know you're having church when Butch is amening. 20, not 50, sorry. But your definition of love has to go deeper than just feelings if you want it to last through some of that stuff. And as Jesus followers, if you would say you're a Jesus follower, Jesus followers, we're not supposed to just live out of our feelings. We're supposed to live out of love no matter what we feel. And so if your butterflies are in their prime and they're flying, great. But if your butterflies got hit by pest control, they ain't flying so much right now, that's okay. There's hope. Here's today's first love rule. We'll put this on the screen. It's this. When you start to do what love does, you start to feel like love feels. When you start to do what love does again, you start to feel like love feels again. In other words, don't let your feelings lead your actions. Let your actions lead your feelings. All right, you may not feel like going on a Valentine's Day date today. Maybe a little rough on the ride into church today. But go on that Valentine's Day date anyway. You may not feel like telling a coworker, hey, you're doing a great job. Tell them anyway. Listen, you may not feel like encouraging your kids because they've turned the back seat of your car into a health hazard. Hello. But encourage them anyway, because when you start to do what love does again, you start to feel like love feels again. And don't let your feelings lead your actions. Let your actions lead your feelings. And so I just want to jump into the Bible with you, and we're going to look at the most famous love chapter in the whole Bible. Now, if you've been to a wedding, you have heard this before, but this is not just about romantic love. This is the kind of love every Jesus follower should have in every relationship that we have. And so we'll put this on the screen. We're actually going to start in chapter 12, the last verse of chapter 12, because I think it sets it up real nice. Paul says this in 12, verse 31 of 1 Corinthians. He says, I will show you the most excellent way. That's a line right there, right? Like, I'm going to show you the most excellent way. I'm like leaning in. All right, what's the most excellent way, Paul? He says, if I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have what? Love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, everybody just say love, like little butterfly, love. But I don't have that, I'm only a resounding gong or a cymbal. And so, in other words, what Paul is saying, he's saying the most excellent way, the X factor is, it doesn't matter if you're the Tom Brady of talking, like you could be a smooth operator, man. It doesn't matter if you're the Tom Brady of preaching. If you don't love, you're just making noise, because love is the most excellent way. Online family, just type that into the chat. Love is the most excellent way. And so my first point of two today is this. Speak with love. If you're taking notes, write that down. Speak with love. So I saw this week on Disney Plus that they had The Princess Bride. Come on, somebody. Apparently not as excited as me about Listen, The Princess Bride. Who has seen this movie right here? I love this movie. Hey, who has not seen this movie? What? Cotter, get security, get all these people out of here. Listen, I'm all about grace, but there's a line you can cross, all right? And so that's you guys, if you haven't seen it, you gotta see this movie. And so I saw this was on Disney Plus. So I was like, kids, get over here. You're gonna learn about Inigo Montoya right now, okay? Because any movie that has Fred Savage and Andre the Giant in it, like, you know it's gonna be a good movie. And my kids were like, Dad, like, how old is this movie? I'm like, you better watch yourself, kids. I will kick you out of this house. Like, I love The Princess Bride. Some of you have not seen this movie, and I was thinking about some classic 80s movies that I have not seen. All right, so I just want to go through a few of these, since some of you have not seen this one. One 80s movie I have not seen is this one, Ghostbusters. I've never seen it. Now, listen, y'all like whatting me. Some of you did not see The Princess Bride. So in my defense, I am a pastor's kid. I wasn't allowed to watch Cats with a Friendly Ghost. So this ghost was definitely out when I was growing up. So I have never seen Ghostbusters. Another 80s classic I have not seen is Driving Miss Daisy. Although Stacy tells me I drive like Miss Daisy. I'm like, you look like Miss Daisy. Just kidding. I don't even know what that means. I've never seen the movie. I have no idea. Anyway, I've never seen Driving Miss Daisy. Here's another classic that I've never seen, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I've never seen it, okay? How many of you, like me, you've not seen, anybody not seen this? Okay, I feel good about myself that I'm not the only one. Now, Bo Dukes is leaving the church right now because Bo loves Keanu Reeves. Okay, and I love that Bo loves Keanu Reeves because I think that's funny right there. But he loves Keanu Reeves. But I've never seen this movie. But I found a clip on YouTube from this movie this week, and I will tell you what the setup to this clip is because we're going to show it to you. But I've never seen the movie, so I have no idea what's happening in this clip. But let's just go ahead and roll this clip for the movie.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes!
That looks like a weird movie right there. I don't know. Apparently, those are like the big lines in the movie, right? Be excellent to each other and party on, dude. Everybody say, be excellent to each other. Everybody say, party on, dude. All right. And do you know what Paul is saying in 1 Corinthians 13? He's saying, you want to know what the most excellent way is? You want to know what the most excellent way is? The most excellent way is be excellent to each other. Like if you want to party on, dude, in life, be excellent to each other. Be excellent to each other. Everybody say, be excellent to each other. Listen, right out of the love chapter gate, Paul's like, listen, you be excellent to each other with your words. And when love moves your words move people, right? When love moves your words move people. But how many of you have ever gotten in an argument with somebody that's spicier than Stacy's General Tso's? How many of you have ever gotten in an argument like, come on, not just married argument, like any sort of heated exchange? Let me see your hands. Online family, put a pepper in the emoji or in the comments, whatever. Like, we've all had some heated exchanges, right? And one of the things that's taken me 38 years to realize is that the only way to cool down a heated exchange that's spicy, is you got to cool down your words, right? You got to take the crushed red pepper out of your words. You got to put some ranch on your words. You got to put some love on your words. Why? Because when love moves your words can move people. And listen, you'll never change somebody's mind until you reach their heart first. You'll never change somebody's mind until you reach their heart first. But when you speak with love, people don't just like listen, they actually hear you. But Paul says when you don't speak with love, you just kind of sound like a drum cymbal. Sound like a crashing drum cymbal. Now, I don't play the drums. There is a correction to that. I did take one drum lesson when I was a kid. My uncle is a drummer, and he gave me one lesson, and apparently I was so bad, he's like, there's no hope for this kid. That's the last lesson I ever had. So my uncle didn't believe in me. That's okay. It's all good. But I'm going to play some drums for you guys right now, if that's okay with you. You got your next drummer right here at Bay Shore. No, but I want to use these because, listen, Paul is saying, hey, I want to paint a picture for what loveless words are like. In your relationships, like loveless words, he's like, loveless words, it's just a bunch of noise. And in our culture, we got a lot of people talking right now, a lot of noise out there. And Paul's like, your loveless words, they just kind of sound like this. And so it's just kind of like volume, okay? So like, we got all this volume out there, okay? On our social media feeds and all these places, like, we got all this volume out there. A lot of noise. Sorry about the baby, Carrie. And so everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's arguing about stuff. And Paul's like, that argument, those loveless words, it's like this. Everybody's got an opinion about politics, don't they? Everybody's got have you been on social media lately? Everybody's got an opinion on there. Everybody's got is this getting on your nerves now? It's supposed to get on your nerves. That's the point. But everybody's got an opinion about the vaccine. Everybody's got an opinion about the weekend's performance at the Super Bowl. Everybody's got an opinion about the weather forecasting for this past weekend because there ain't no snow out there. Okay, we all got opinions like that. And Paul is like, your loveless words, it just kind of sounds like, that's what it sounds like. It's just kind of like a cymbal, crashing cymbal. Now, some of you would like to throw a cymbal at somebody. Sometimes, you're right. Like, don't we want to just throw a cymbal at somebody? Maybe not your spouse, but maybe your spouse. I don't know. Like, sometimes we just want to throw a cymbal at somebody, but you'll never reach or never change somebody's mind if you don't reach their heart first. And when we speak with love, people don't just listen, they actually hear you. And don't you love it? Don't you love it when somebody in your camp encourages you? How many of you enjoy some words of affirmation? Come on, let me see your hand. You enjoy some words of affirmation? Just say party on, dude. If you want some party on words put towards you. We all love positive words coming towards us. I know I was making fun of Bo Dukes earlier. But I love Bo Dukes, even though Bo likes incredibly bad movies. I love Bo Dukes. You guys appreciate Bo, our worship leader. You guys appreciate him. He's great. And I love Bo, but Bo and I have been friends for forever, since 6th grade. And Bo is really good at a lot of things. Okay, Bo can play the guitar. Bo can build houses. Bo can cook a better steak than me, which I am still salty about that. I want to be the steak master. He is the steak master. Bo's good at a lot, but one of the things that Bo is the best at is he's so good at calling me and encouraging me and just using like positive words to me. And so a few years ago, he left me a voicemail. He always leaves me voicemails. This week, he left me like a really encouraging voicemail. But a few years ago, he left me a voicemail. And I just want to play it for you guys. It's like 1 minute and 30 seconds long. So men, don't leave to go to the bathroom. All right, these are going to be there afterwards. But this is just words of encouragement. Let me have you hear this. Go ahead and roll that.
Just to get a little sappy on you, I've been home by myself most all day today, just kind of working around the house and doing my thing. And just had a lot of time to think. And as this year comes to a close and we open up the book for 2016, I can't tell you how happy I am to be doing church and just walking through life with you and Stacy and your family. You mean a lot to me. I hope you know that. I'm so glad, so absolutely glad that God decided to put you and I on this journey together. It couldn't have worked out any better in my opinion, you know. And I think the world of you, man, and you know, you're doing an excellent job. I can't encourage you enough, and I can't say enough good things about you. You are just an amazing pastor. You're an amazing leader. You're an amazing friend, and I absolutely love where our church is headed. And I can't wait to see where we'll be this year. In 2016, I think we're going to see some cool stuff, and I think 10 years from now, we're going to look back at these moments and to the beginning of this, and our minds are going to just be completely blown with where God has taken us and all the things that we've seen and done. So, look, I love you, and have a happy new year. Enjoy your time with your family, and I'll chat with you sometime soon. All right, brother. See ya.
Bo Stinking Dukes, guys. Listen, that voicemail has been on my phone since 2015. I have saved that for 6 years, and I am not getting rid of that voicemail because those words, man, like I can preach right now. I'm on fire right now because of that right there. I feel like party on, dude, because of just that encouragement. And listen, my point is this. Words, man. Words are powerful. And when you speak with love, listen, it's powerful. So speak love in your friendships. Speak with love to your coworkers. Speak with love on Valentine's Day. And you might have a good Valentine's night, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Speak with love. Listen, I have this motto, this life motto that really Bo just lived out right there. And it's this, and we'll put it on the screen. If I think something good, I say it. If I think something good, I say it. Now, a few years ago, I was standing up here, and I was telling you about this motto that I have, and I missaid it. And I was like, if you think something, say it. And everybody was like, preach it, brother. Glory. I can get, that's something I can get behind right there. Like, But no, not if I think something. Like, how many of you are good at this? If I think something, I say it. Like, I'm good at that right there. If that was this message was about, I wouldn't have to preach it. We all got that down. But I just want to live by, if I think something good, I say it. And it doesn't matter if it's like someone I'm close with. Listen, if I go to Taco Rijo after church today, come on. And they give me one of those good burritos, come on. I just need to tell the person in the truck, look, listen, your burritos, they make me want to be a better man. Like, if you think something good, say, if you have a coworker who kind of gets on your nerves because they don't understand how to use Zoom, you know, they don't know how to like mute themselves, or they don't understand that they are on camera and you can't unsee what you just saw, you know what I'm saying? But they're really good at what they do. Just tell them, hey, I just think you're really good at what you do. Maybe you have some kids right now that are struggling with online learning, and you can encourage them and say, listen, what you're going through right now is really hard. It's historical, but you're doing better than you think you are. I am really, really proud of you. And if you think something good, say it, because fighting and criticizing and complaining, all that is natural. That is natural. But speaking with love is supernatural. Speaking with love, it is supernatural. And speaking with love can change a mood. It can change a relationship. It can change somebody's life. And so we speak with love. Now, you might have somebody in your life you are not feeling the love towards right now. Like you want to drop some spicy General Tso's up on them right now. Listen, dude, we all get that, but do me a favor. And this week, would you pray for that person every day? And the reason I say that is because it's really hard to be mad at somebody every day when you pray for them every day. Isn't that true? It's hard to be mad at somebody every day when you pray for them every day. And so speak with love. And then my last point is Paul's next point, which is to love others. Love others. So Jimmy Fallon did this thing a few years ago where he asked people to write in stories about how weird their family is. How many of you could win that competition right there? Like, you could win it right now. Like, I think we should just go around with a mic. Everyone can just share a weird family story. It'll be therapeutic for all of us. But if you think your family is weird, I want to show you something that somebody sent into Jimmy Fallon during this. This is so good. This lady says, I'm the oldest of 5 kids. When I was learning to parallel park, my dad used my sister and brothers as traffic cones. Some of you are like, I just got an idea. This is great. I had to park between them. And so my lesson consisted of Dad yelling at the traffic cones not to move and me trying not to run over my siblings. Don't you just feel better about your family all of a sudden? Like, it's not that bad. It's not this bad. But isn't it hard to love your family when they're this weird? I mean, that's tough right there. And wouldn't it be nice if we could just pick and choose who we loved? Wouldn't that be nice? Like, I would be down for that plan. But I want to show you what Paul says in the next verse, still in the love chapter, verse 2. Paul says this. He says, if I had the gift of prophecy, and if I understood all of God's secret plans and passed all knowledge, okay? Now, let me just pause there. What Paul is saying is this. He's like, if I knew it all, if I had like a Harvard degree, check. If I had the whole Bible memorized, check. If I read and understood the user agreement for TurboTax Online, check. If I knew it all, he said, and if I had faith that could move the mountains, but didn't what? But didn't love others, I would be nothing. I would be nothing, all right? And so, like, does love others include family members that may have made you wear a orange cone on your head, a traffic cone on your head? Yeah. Does loving others include people who have terrible opinions? Yes. Yes. Some of you are hesitant, like, I don't like this message too much. But Paul's like, we are nothing if we don't love others, no matter how easy they are to love or not. We are nothing if we don't love others, no matter how easy they are to love or not. And is there a more important message in our culture right now than this message right here? I mean, do you guys remember what happened in 2020? We got to love others. And if you've kind of checked out, if you miss everything I say today, don't miss what I'm about to say, okay? This is so important. We got to love others more than we love being right. We got to love others more than we love being right. Now, let me take a quick poll. How many of you think that you are right most of the time? Come on, be honest. You are in church. I'm raising both hands and my leg, all right? Listen, keep your hand up if you think you're right most of the time. Okay, now look around. We can't all be right, people. Right? We can't all be right. And it's so easy to not like love someone when we're right and they're wrong. At least we think that we're right and they're wrong. But we got to love others more than we love being right. We got to love others more than we love being right. Now, sometimes love is the warm feelings, the fuzzy butterflies. All right, sometimes it's that, but sometimes we got to give tough love. You know what parents, you know what I'm talking about, tough love? So in my house, I have 2 pet peeves, more than that, but I'll give you my top 2. Number 1 is when somebody does not flush the toilet. Bleh. Yes. Number 2 is when people don't pick up their stuff around the house. Okay, you do either one of those things. I moved from pastor dad to dad real fast. All right, and so last week, the kids had left all this stuff all over the first floor of the house. And so like Nixon's Nerf gun is like laying over there. And, Nora's little sloth stuffed animal. She has a soft stuffed animal. I didn't know they made those until we got her one. That's laying on the floor. The Nerf gun, the sloth thing. Stacy's, I'm going to leave Stacy out of this because it's Valentine's Day, man. Anyway. But there's all this, and she's here, and there's all this stuff on the first floor of my kitchen, so I'm picking up all their stuff, and I'm like doing the dad grunt every time I bend down, okay? I'm like, I'm picking all this stuff, and I made a pile at the bottom of the stairs, because they're upstairs, okay? So, like, that's where their rooms are. So I made a pile of all the stuff at the bottom of the stairs, and I said, hey, kids, come get your things and take them upstairs and put them in your room. And I'm already kind of huffing and puffing. But as I'm saying that, I walked by the bathroom and I noticed that the toilet was not flushed. And I don't want to go into detail, but it needed to be flushed, people. Like the Browns were in the Super Bowl. It needed to be flushed. RJ, delete that out, please, out of the podcast. So I'm like, I got to deal with the anti-flusher in my family. I knew it was Nixon. I knew it. So I turned around, and Nixon is halfway up the stairs at this point, and he doesn't have anything in his hands from the pile that I just made for him. So I'm like, did you just step over the pile I asked you to pick something up from to go up? Did you just step over that while I see what you left in my toilet? And I'm like, I'm just having this moment. And Nixon, he's just like, he's kind of scared. I'm like, Nixon, listen, I've been telling you for 2 years, you got to flush the toilet, man. And so now here comes the pain. I said, listen, you're not getting dessert for the rest of your life. And Stacy is like, okay, just bring it down, Pastor. I'm like, okay, upon further review, you're not getting dessert for the rest of the day. And maybe you're a young parent, and young parents, you have this temptation to take kids or TV away from your young kids. That's a bad idea. I learned long ago. You basically punish yourself when you take the TV away from your young kid. All right, that's the last thing you want to get rid of. So just do dessert, anything other than the TV. All right. So anyway, I took away the dessert, and Nixon's like, "No, Daddy, no, I will flush the toilet. I will pick up myself." I said, "Listen, Nixon, my job in life is to get you to be responsible so that one day you can get a job, get married, and move out. Like that's my whole job." And I said, Nixon, God's biggest responsibility, or one of God's biggest responsibilities that he's given me is to teach you to be responsible. And that starts by picking up your Nerf gun and flushing the stuff in the toilet. And so I just had to give him a little tough love. But listen, I discipline him because I loved him, okay? If I don't discipline him, it's going to be painful for him and me later. Okay, he's going to be in couples therapy with his future wife because he ain't going to put up with what I saw in the toilet. Let me just tell you. And so, parents, sometimes our love towards our kids is not warm and fuzzy, right? Sometimes it's tough love. We got to give some tough love, but we discipline our kids because we love them. Isn't that true? And here's the thing, and this is going to be a little tough love for some of us, but we're God's kids, and God disciplines us sometimes. And sometimes he says, hey, I got to take your dessert away because you're kind of like getting off track here. And he doesn't do it because he's out to get us. He does it because he loves us. And listen, you can walk away from God. You can turn your back on God, and he will always love you. But sometimes that love won't feel like butterflies, all right? Sometimes it's going to feel like discipline a little bit. Hello. Sometimes that's what it's going to feel like, but he does that because he wants us to get our attention, to bring us back towards him, okay? God disciplines us because he loves us. I know this isn't popular, what I'm saying right now, but it is biblical. But here's the thing, perfect love, Jesus, always accepts us as is. But perfect love never wants to leave us as is. Never wants to leave us as is. And he accepts us as is, and he wants us to accept other people as is. That's the hard part. But sometimes, even though we accept other people as is, that doesn't mean that we can't put some boundaries around that love. All right, so sometimes people in your life, they step outside of the marriage boundary. They step outside of the trust boundary. They step outside of what is healthy to be around that boundary, okay? And sometimes you got to say, hey, you know, Nixon, you got to come and pick this mess up or you're going to lose dessert. So sometimes you got to give tough love and say, hey, we got to go to couples counseling, or, you know, this isn't going to work. Or you got to go to rehab and get clean, or I'm going to start throwing frying pans at somebody. You know? Or you got to say to your teenagers who are in college, hey, listen, I know you've been partying on, dude, at college. I see your grades. Hello. And if you keep on partying on, dude, at college, you're going to have to pay your college tuition bill and Ted. You know, and so sometimes it is tough love, but love always has to be at the foundation because we are nothing without love. We're nothing without love. I love what Mother Teresa said. She says this. She says, people are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it is between you and God. It has never been between you and them anyway. Isn't that good? Mother Teresa, man. Like, that's so good. And when you start to do what love does again, you start to feel like love feels again. And love, as Paul said, is the most excellent way. I'm going to end with this. A few years ago, my brother said to me, he was like, hey, Joel, you got to see this movie. You got to see this movie. And I thought he was going to tell me like a Keanu Reeves movie because he likes Keanu Reeves too. So I was like waiting for him to say, you got to see John Wick 17, or I don't know how many there are, but I thought that's what he was going to say. But my brother was like, Joel, you got to see the Mr. Rogers documentary. How many of you have seen, like, I think we have a picture. Yeah, how many of you have seen this movie right here? It is so good. I talked about this a few years ago, but I love this movie. Now, before I saw this movie, I thought, you know, Mr. Rogers, he's an actor. You know, there's no way that guy who sings, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, or beautiful day, whatever, like, there's no way that guy's real. Like, that has to be an act. But in this documentary, they interview his wife, they interview his kids, they interview, like, his coworkers, and they're all like, that's who he was. He was just happy, and he just loved other people. And, like, at the end of the movie, I was like, I love Mr. Rogers. I love Mr. Rogers. Like, I'm, like, on the couch crying. Stacy's consoling me. It was great. Like, we just had this moment. And, like, one of the things he always said at the end of or in his program was, you are loved just the way you are. He'd say, you are special just the way you are. He's all about love. I don't know if you know this, but he weighed his entire adult life, he weighed 143 pounds. On purpose, he weighed 143 pounds. And the reason was that number 143 was symbolic to him. Every morning he'd get on the scale, he'd see 143, and that stood for I, 1, love, 4 letters, okay, 4, you, 3 letters. I love you. Every time you see 143, it said, I love you to him. He's a weird guy, okay, that's just weird. But he is all about love, all right? I'm just trying to... So, but he he would always say, you are special just the way you are. You are loved just the way you are. And I believed him when I was 6 years old and I watched him. And when I watched him and I was like 36, I still believed. I'm like, oh, I believe it. Like he's saying it. And one of the things he ended this documentary with was there was this clip of him, and he was talking. And he said, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think of that person in your life who's shown you love. I want you to think of that person who's loved you unconditionally, that person who's made you feel special. And I'm like watching this documentary in my house, and I'm like having a moment. I'm thinking about Stacy and the Howard T. Ennis parking lot. I'm thinking about Bo and the voicemail he left for me. I'm thinking about my parents. My parents text me every single Sunday morning and say, hey, I believe in you. Like before I preach, they always say. And so I am, in so many ways, who I am because of the love that's been shown me. And you are, in so many ways, who you are today because of the love that has been shown to you. Isn't that true? And so everybody just do me a favor. I don't want to freak anybody out, but if you could just close your eyes, online family, you can just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. I just want you to picture that person who's shown love to you. Picture that person who's shown you unconditional love. Picture that person who has given you a little tough love sometimes, but picture that person who's just made an impact in your life and made you feel special. And if nobody comes to mind for you, okay, I just want you to know that person for you is Jesus. Jesus is the one who you need to picture right now. And I want you to hear him saying over you right now, listen, I made you. I sing over you. I have grace for you. I love you. And some of you have a hard time believing that, and you want proof. The cross is your proof on that. But just picture that person who's made you feel special and has loved you. Okay, now everybody open your eyes. That love, that person you just pictured, that kind of love, that's the kind of love we need to show our friends and family right now. That's what we need to be to them. That's who we can be, and that's who we can be in our marriages. That's who we can be in our friendships. That's who we can be in our communities. That's who we can be in our families. And when you start to do what love does again, you start to feel like love feels again. And those butterflies, they start flying. And so my point today is this: be excellent to each other. Be excellent to each other. If you want an excellent marriage, what do? Be excellent to each other. If you want to have an excellent relationship with your kids, be excellent to your kids. If you want to have an excellent relationship with your coworkers and people, in your sphere of influence, be excellent to each other. Be excellent to each other. And when you do that, listen, the butterflies start flying, and that kind of love rules. And so if you're down with that, just say, party on, dude. Party on, dude. Because I think life will be a little bit more of a party if we let love rule our life like that. Let me pray for you guys. Jesus, I pray for us to just not just feel love and just live out of love when we feel it, but God, I just pray that we'll let our actions lead our feelings, and we'll just be people who go out there and we just love other people. We show love even when they're not, they're not being a person that really should receive that kind of love. I just pray that we will be people who show love to people as is, because you showed love to us when we were in the as is position. And so God, I just pray that you'll just help us to do that. I pray that we'll speak with love this Valentine's Day. I pray that we'll love others who we come into contact with today, whether that's the person we're married to or whether it's the person we meet at the gas station after church today. Help us to just love others and be excellent to each other. It is the most excellent way. Thank you so much, Jesus, for challenging us with this. In your name, amen.